Apple. A company that many of us know with devices such as iPhone, iPad, MacBook. There is a point that is not talked about: how Steve Jobs has achieved success and brought the company to this state. Where did the Bitten Apple logo come from? What does the Bitten Apple logo mean? And why is such a logo used? In this video, we will talk about the story of the Bitten Apple logo and the facts that have been made so far. We will try to explain in detail where the Apple logo came from and what the Apple designer made a statement about it. Before we get to Apple's Bitten Apple logo, let's take a look at where the name Apple comes from. First of all, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak gave many different interviews on this subject, and I summarized their statements for you in these interviews. Steve Jobs, in his last interview on this subject, I was doing one of the fruit diets at that time. I came from an apple farm and thought the name was not intimidating, but rather fun and lively, he explained, explaining the origin of the name. Wozniak, however, was a few weeks after we came up with a name for our partnership. I picked up Steve Jobs from the airport, and Steve suggested a name. Apple Computer is the first comment out of my mouth. But what about Apple Records? Apple Records was a record label we owned at the time. We both tried to come up with names that sounded more technical, but we didn't have many good options in mind. Apple was much better than any name you can think of, he explained. After this name was approved by Steve Jobs and Wozniak, after they digested it and decided to really name this company in their minds, the first Apple logo depicted Isaac Newton sitting under the apple tree, and Newton contained the phrase, "Mind alone, forever traveling through strange seas of thought." Steve Jobs, on the other hand, explained the complexity of this log as follows: "We were always aiming for more than a computer and planning to create values as important as Newton's laws of motion. That's why the logo was meaningful to us, too," he said. That's why Newton was used in the first logo, and Newton sitting under the tree is depicted in detail. Of course, Steve Jobs didn't want such a complex logo, he wanted more minimal, simpler logos, and had always planned such a logo in his mind until now. In 1977, Rob Janoff designed the Bitten Apple logo instead of the logo. This logo had colored stripes. So why was it colored? Why was the apple chosen? In fact, this is the essence of the discussion. The first is that the logo is covered with rainbow colors, and the second is the meaning of the Bitten Apple logo is the most important claim in this regard. This logo was designed to pay homage to Alan Turing, a prominent name in computer science. Alan Turing is a British mathematician, computer scientist and cryptologist. He worked part-time in the British code cracking organization at the Turing Government Code and Cipher School, and then on September 4, 1939, when Britain entered the Second World War, he was commissioned for military service. After the war, he appeared with different studies on computer and artificial intelligence logic algorithms. In this process, Turing made his mark in history as one of the greatest pioneers of modern computers and information sciences, both theoretically and practically. Also, he was considered a war hero because he played a crucial role in cracking German codes during World War II. In addition, during his years at Manchester University, he laid the conceptual basis of modern computers with the definition of an algorithm called the Turing machine. In 1952, he was arrested on charges of homosexuality, which is considered a crime. He was treated for a while, choosing the option of hormone therapy instead of imprisonment. By injecting cyanide into an apple during this treatment, Alan Turing, who committed suicide, also thought that the Apple logo was the starting point. Of course, although there are different explanations on these claims, a statement from Apple's first logo designer Rob Janoff came in 2009. Rob Janoff, the designer of the Bitten Apple logo, stated that all claims about this subject are urban legends. He explained that the color strips on the logo are compatible with Apple II, the first colored computer title, and said that it was fed by the hippie culture of the period. Janoff stated that there was no LGBT emphasis in the logo. However, Janoff explained the reason why it was a Bitten Apple, saying that when she made the Apple logo completely, it looked like a cherry, and she emphasized that she preferred a Bitten Apple logo to distinguish it from a cherry. So even though Apple's Bitten Apple logo has many meanings, there are no real claims and real results. This was the explanation of Rob Janouf, Apple's first logo designer. In fact, the Alan Turing claims that have been made so far have been refuted at one point, and it has been explained in detail why a Bitten Apple is preferred by the Apple logo designer. With the Bitten Apple logo, since the day it was founded, Apple has truly turned into a lifestyle and continues to increase its value day by day.